Hello everyone, and welcome to my next video for Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia, where I'm going to be jumping into the Knight's Honor Part 16 Level 180 Chaos Quest in Agrias' Lost Chapter, as I rack my brains over the music that's playing in the background, because I am an ardent fan of Final Fantasy Tactics, and it's definitely the PS1 sound font, but I don't recognise this OST. I don't recognise this BGM. I'm going to probably have to look it up after this. But anyway, we're going to be jumping into this with a party of Agrias, Lilisette and Serah, with an Agrias friend support and Leviathan as a summon to change things up somewhat. So Agrias' Lost Chapter is finally here, and this is very much a long-awaited moment for myself as a Final Fantasy Tactics fanboy. Naturally, I loved getting all the use of Ramza that I could out of the early Chaos era, and he's still incredibly viable here. And I am probably going to be uploading a Tactics-themed run with Agrias, Ramza, and Cloud, because Cloud actually was a hidden character in Tactics, and I kind of have to make that. I have to make that video at some point. I have to make it possible. And maybe I'll feature Ultimecia in one of the videos as well. But for this one, I felt like taking a bit of a slightly different approach. So I've actually brought along Lilisette because I was on the fence about whether I was going to pull for Lilisette's EX, and I did actually pull for it off camera. No doubt you've noticed that I did upload a video for the Soulcage raid. And I did pull her EX in about 270 tickets. I got a Kuja dupe after like 29 tickets. I was like, what the fuck, what is it, what even is life? But I just carried on pulling because I don't have that many banners that I'm planning to hit this month. I think there's only Rem and Machina, which I am actually going to go in with gems on. I'm going to go to 50k gems, and then maybe I'm either going to spend tickets or I'm potentially going to go, fishing a little bit harder with gems. I really want to buy a book from the banner because I really don't think you can have too many books, because I do have a lot of EX weapons from when they first came out, like from last year. So when they're going to get realised, I can just pop a book on them and hey, there's a free ingot. And ingots, you can never have too many ingots. There's no such thing. So yeah, I pulled for Lilisette mainly because, well, for two reasons. Well, for three reasons. Okay, one, I quite like her kit because I used her a fair bit in the 6060 era, and she's really good. She debuffs magic attack incredibly much because she has a magic attack down and a regular attack down on her essential dance. So that's really nice. Two, because she makes Soulcage raid much easier, and I figure that if there is content that she makes that much easier just by being there, then that means that she has a strong toolkit in some situations, and she's going to be useful for more than just her event. Like, I know the Soulcage raid was practically designed to make you pull for Lilisette because the boss has an initial bravery down aura, which is extremely frustrating because it turns wall shields into paper, like friggin' paper mache shields that don't actually do anything, and Lena can't really regenerate any brave, and yeah, it's just all sorts of horrible. And brave regen doesn't really work on Ultimecia. It kind of does, but it's like wearing a friggin' straitjacket. So that's all sorts of horrible. But because Lilisette batteries, like straight up on everything she does, is a max brave battery, everything's based off max bravery, so she's not affected at all. And she debuffs the boss so that it only, in inverted commas, does like 10k damage instead of fucking 20k damage. You know what I mean? At least he can shave like the former, because the latter is just all sorts of bonkers. Anyway. Yeah, so I pulled her for that reason. I figure the worst, like she's only at 1 out of 3. She's incredibly cost efficient at 1 ingot. She only needs 1 LB to do most of what her kit actually does, because the only thing she gains from higher limit breaks is basically she gets more attack power. But because you're probably going to be running max bravery artifacts on her anyway, and she's not a primary brave shaver, I don't think she really needs that much attack. Like, the only thing you're going to get from it is the raw stats on the weapon, and I'd much rather put those ingots into someone that's going to make better use out of them. So she's very cost effective, so that's definitely, worth a pull in my opinion. And she'll be really good in Dimension's End because, again, she's got aura buffs that stack with everything. She's got debuffs, she's got battery. You can't have, and so she's got a very supportive kit, even though she's like an offensive support battery hybrid, and you can't have too many supportive characters for Dimension's End because we're going to need a lot of chaos viable characters very soon. So I'm definitely in roster expansion mode right now. Agrias, on the other hand, absolutely does not disappoint. She is like a jack of all trades, master of none, but she's more like a jack of all trades, very good at most of them. Like, you know, she's not going to be out damaging Ultimecia or even Kuja for that matter. You know, she's not going to be out healing Ishtola, and she's not going to be having stronger auras than like Serah or whatever. You know, but she does a little bit of everything. Like, she's got battery in her kit. She can do damage. She's got paralysis and silence are incredibly useful forms of like crowd control that no one else in this game can. For the time being, no one else can replicate that quite like she can. You know, and she can do damage. She also does healing because not only does she have HP regen on her unique buff, she also has a burst heal now on her Knight's Pride. After using it, it heals everyone based on damage dealt up to 20% of maximum HP. So if she can just fulfill the healer role on a team by herself if you really wanted to, unless you're constantly taking HP attack after attack after attack and you need those big heals. But you know, Agrias is fully self-sufficient as a healer, which frees you up to bring more offensive characters, because you are going to want a healer in Chaos most of the time. But you see with this team comp here, Lilisette and Serah are both amazing offensive supports, but they don't have any healing. But because Agrias can cover the healing and damage rolls by herself, I can bring these characters and I can let Agrias do the damage, you know what I mean? She's just flexible, and I really like that. So I like her from a gameplay standpoint, as well as from a meta standpoint. Now, just to talk a little bit about the bosses on this event, they are weak to water, which is part of the reason we're bringing Leviathan, but they'll also do some HP attacks as well. And you know, when you take HP damage, you get a framed buff from Leviathan that's permanent. That gives you bravery gen, which is actually really good. It's something that if there's any diehard Rinoa fans out there that plan to use Rinoa with her EX Plus, I highly recommend using Leviathan with Rinoa, because she gets a new framed buff when she uses Angel Wing from her Angelo stance, and that gives her bravery gen. So you basically want to stack bravery gens on Rinoa because she only ever gets 3 hits on her HP Plus, which is kind of sad, but you know, what can you do? Anyway, enough about that. So the bosses for this fight are quite annoying, because at certain HP thresholds they will suddenly start floating in the air. They'll dispel all buffs, including frame buffs and paralysis, which is insanely annoying. They'll gain ungodly amounts of bravery, and they'll buff up all of their stats for 2 turns. And basically, it's like your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to shave down 50,000 bravery or take a globulated crush to the face and die. Which does limit your options somewhat in this fight. So Charlotta would be really good with her gravity. Ultimecia is really good with her skill 2 and in just about any situation, honestly. But they don't address the fundamental problem. The bosses apply 5 visible buffs to themselves, and the last one on the list is defense. So like, if you apply 5 debuffs right to the bosses and you don't push off that last debuff, you're still going to be dropping 1s. I mean, these things are tanky as shit if you do not remove their defense buffs. Which is part of the reason I decided to bring this team, because it's got debuffs out the wazoo. We've got Lilisette, we've got Serah, and we've got Agrias. We're just going to drown the enemy in debuffs, and it's not really going to be able to do anything. And then just when it's about to take a turn, we can pop Agrias' EX, and then they'll be in silence. And then when they're about to take another turn, we just pop the Crystal 65, and we have a guaranteed paralysis. And then when they're about to take another turn, oh shit, we're just going to summon. And and then when they're about to get the next turn, oh, we got the friend Agrias. Oh, they're silenced again. It's absolutely glorious. The shenanigans you can do with this team, it's incredibly fun. Like, it's not going to get maximum score. This is not a score run team, but this is a let's shut down the enemies and make sure that they can't do anything team, because we've got battery to bypass the defense buffs, we've got debuffs to remove the defense buffs, and we've just got shenanigans for days. And well, the first time I cleared this off camera, I just had so much fun with this team that I had to record this as my first clear. So without any further waffling from me, and without any further ado, let's go into my artifacts. I did start farming in advance for Agrias like a few days ago. I would have liked some 108 C50s because attack is nice in Chaos, but also Agrias has the problem that she has a very low max bravery base stat, but she actually has a lot of modifiers acting on it. She had the same problem when she was 60 out of 60. So if you increase her base max bravery, it's going to increase her actual bravery in the fight by quite a lot, because she's got so many buffs that work on it. Lilisette, I got quite lucky with my raids so far. These are all from raid artifacts, or at least these 2 are. I just pop a triple book and blow like four bells, and I've been doing that for a few days, and I got these 2 beauties. I just need 1 more to complete the collection, and I'll have a perfect Lilisette as well. 1 out of 3, but there you go. And yeah, there's my Serah as well. So my artifact game is strong with this party. I'm quite liking it. And then we've got Allegro, who says not amazing arts, but he's got all his board masteries, and he's got pretty good artifacts as well, to be honest. So yeah, this is my team I'm going to be using for this. Let's jump into it and see how it goes. So for those of you that made it through all of my talking, I'm very impressed, and I do apologise. I didn't expect that to go on for quite as long as it did, but it did, so there you go. You know, it is what it is. So I'm actually going to pop a Knight's Pride here to get her bravery up to 4 stacks, because her maximum amount of stacks is 5 stacks, and of course it's the invisible pixel. Of course it is. Why wouldn't it be? So I'm just gonna like do this. I really should have done that on A, but I'm hoping that she'll... oh wait, of course she gets knocked back by turn, but that's, honestly, that's whatever. I should honestly just HP plus here. Yeah, Lilisette's HP plus is pretty nice, because it batteries everyone, and we could just HP plus with Agrias, and Agrias had a pretty nice HP plus back during the 60 out of 60 era, and it's still pretty good now, to be honest. It's the same thing, it hasn't changed, it's just really good. So yeah, I'm just gonna pop a HP attacks with everyone here. Don't really need to do anything else. So yeah, another reason that I like this team is that Serah brings a lot of attack buffs. She like brings up to 110% attack if you count a Crystal 65 as part of that. Lilisette as well has a 45% attack aura. Serah does have a visible max bravery buff, but Lilisette's is stronger and it overrides it, and then she's got auras on top of that, and then all of Agrias' buffs apply to herself, and Agrias also gives buffs to the rest of the party as well via auras. So basically everyone makes everyone else stronger in this team. It really fits quite nicely. So even though Agrias' raw offensive power isn't quite up to like what most dedicated damage dealers would be capable of, at the same time, because she makes everyone else stronger, it kind of helps plug the gap in power in the party by quite a bit. So I'm definitely going to get broken here, but that's honestly that's whatever. I think this should be enough to take out A. Oh, it's enough to take out both of them. Okay, I lied. I didn't get broken. That's awesome, honestly. So I'm actually going to blow another Knight's Pride here, question mark. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do that over here. Might as well apply the slow debuff to these guys. Now we've got our 5 stacks of Brave. That really is a perfect like wound moment, but hey, what can you do, right? So let's get Lilisette CX online. So I'm not fully recovered from my illness yet, so if I sound a little bit crappy or if my voice goes, then you know that's why. I apologise. Okay, so Serah's going to probably get EX after this. I have got Serah's artifacts, so I can be a little bit spammy with her. But we definitely need to use wound next turn, otherwise we're in for a bit of a rough time. I'm gonna try this. It failed. Of course it failed. Don't really want to use up too many skills with Lilisette. Oh, with Serah for that matter. We do have a Hallowed Bolt, however. or a what is it they called it in the original one? It wasn't like it wasn't a hallowed bolt. It was like lightning stab. That's what it was. Yeah, and honestly, I kind of want to just blow it here, just to save on turns and to get to the boss wave. Like the smart thing to do would probably just be to HP everyone down. But I actually did this last time and it worked out fine, so I'm going to do it this time as well. And we get to see some nice numbers at least, you know what I mean? So I wanted to save all of my skill 2s for this wave because I do actually plan on swapping out my own Agrias for a friend Agrias. So that's part of the reason as well why I was fine using that there, because in this wave I'm going to get very spammy with my own Agrias, and this actually works out perfectly in turn order because Lilisette can just dance. Yeah, I'm going to Moonlight and use my EX. You know what? I'm gonna put Skake up. Oh no, that's the thing on that Agrias. Never mind. You know what I mean. And I'm gonna pop one of these. And yeah, we might as well attack you over here. So, yep, you can't do anything. You're a little bit helpless. Let's use a Judgment Blade. Oh, dropping the 9s on everyone there, and B is completely powerless, which is just as well because we need to reapply Wound on Serah. How's that for some nice overflow? 39k, all the way from 28. So, on these guys, what debuffs do they have? I gave them the speed down already, and the attack down, and the max brave down, and everything. So honestly, I am just going to attack here. That's fine, that's completely fine. I don't really care. So I'm actually going to save this Hallowed Bolt for the time being. I'm not going to use it now. Mostly because I don't care. So we will do this. So I'm just gonna like do a sensual dance here because the enemies are going like B over here is gonna do a flare star, which is a brave HP attack. Which is completely fine, and now everyone's got the frame brave regen as well. So here you might be thinking would be a smart time to go into just a HP++ with Lilisette, and you're absolutely right. But you know what would also be smart? Debuffing the hell out of this flying thing right here. So let's just use skill 1. And on you, let's use not a Moonlight, let's use a Wound Plus. So A has rather a lot of bravery right now, and it also has its defense buff active. But because its HP is still quite high, Agrias is still just going to do a shit ton of damage to it. So actually this is completely fine. And yeah, full 9s outside of Summon. She has got synergy, of course, but you know. Oh look, they can't attack, they can't do anything. What a terrible shame. So let's use Moonlight for the attack down on them. So I'm actually just gonna. Do I want to do anything here? No, I don't think I do. To be honest, I don't think I care. Let's just do a HP plus. Okay, so that one started fighting now as well, which is nice. But we don't really care because Agrias is just going to use one of her guaranteed paralysis. So what we're going to try and do here is just try not to ever let the enemies act again. So we're dropping ones, that's fine. Kind of expected. What we can do is not use this because that thing's paralysed. See, we don't care about your defense, we don't care that we're doing ones, you know why? Because we've got battery for days. So what we're actually going to do is use this. So I don't need to use a guaranteed one here. I can literally just use this and then go into my EX. Oh, and they're both paralysed anyway, so that's, you know, that's another thing. That's fine. Serah, on the other hand, is kind of running dry a little bit. So let's just play this by ear, whether we'll replace our Serah or, you know, what we're gonna do. Oh no. All the enemies' buffs are removed, isn't that such a terrible shame? So you're paralysed. You're paralysed. So I'm just gonna pop this dance over here. And oh yeah, what was that? Oh yeah, there's an EX. So they still can't do anything. So you see how this team works. We just completely deny them. Oh yeah, what was that? Oh yeah, that's right. I've got another guaranteed paralysis. You know what? I think the time has finally come to go into... Do we want to go into summon here? Now, you know what? I'm actually going to wait for a turn on Serah. I'm actually going to Brave Plus, believe it or not. What I am going to do is I'm going to pop this. And I am going to go into the summon. this. And as much of a waste as it is, kinda, I'm gonna do this. Oh no, this is very nice right here. That's a nice launch opportunity. I can't let that go to waste. What do I do? Yeah, let's do this. Ultimatum is not really going to do much, is it? Because Serah doesn't have all that much attack. I didn't think it was. Oh, I let them take a turn. Oh, whoops. That's my bad. Oh, that's cute. Oh, I don't think they're going to do something. Sorry. I don't think so. Eat the power of synergy Agrias and despair. But Agrias is still going to take some damage here. So what I'm going to do is this. Haha, you shitters. I don't think so somehow. So let's pop this on B over here. Oh wow, that's perfect. That's Night Sprite. And I think we can more or less finish this. And it's over. And I still had 3 turns left on friend Agrias. Oh man. That is fun though, like that is such a reliable team for this. You can just prevent them from doing anything. Oh, and I got a higher score than the first time I did it as well. I could probably have min-maxed that even further if I'd have swapped out Serah earlier and brought in the friend Agrias. I could have done even more shenanigans, but I just kind of wanted to keep her in my back pocket in case I needed her. You know what I mean? But yeah, if you've got a team like that, then you shouldn't have any problems clearing this event. It's honestly quite fun to play with because you've got silence after paralysis, after delay, after more paralysis, after summons, and yeah, you just keep the train rolling and just pay attention to what the enemies are doing, and you don't ever need to actually even take a single HP attack after the first one. So that's going to be my clear for the Agrias event, which I might add is a hell of a lot easier than I was expecting. I was thinking that this was going to be on the level of the Soulcage raid, but no, Soulcage is definitely a pain in the ass compared to this one. I did not enjoy that at all because it's such a slog, it's such a grind fest. You know, when you've got a quest where low turn rate or low turn count means like between 60 and 70 turns, then you know you've got a problem. So yeah, even though there are teams out there that can do it, Lilisette makes everything so much easier, but yeah, it's just not my favourite one at the moment. But this one was pretty good, especially considering how difficult it was back in the EX era. To come back here and kind of smash this one, it just feels good. Anyway, I hope everyone enjoyed watching, and until the next video, take care and goodbye.